To Mil Palabras, lesson 10. It says here, at the end of this lesson, you will know 500 English words. Furthermore, you will have learnt to use idiomatic expressions. Idiomatic expressions. We also call these phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs. Okay? And with these idiomatic expressions, you will start to speak a really authentic English, like people that have spoken English since they were children. If you use these idiomatic expressions, you will really impress someone, I can assure you. Okay, so the first thing we look at, as always, is the vocabulary. Very important, the vocabulary, that we have to learn everything. We have to really look and study these words so that we know them all. Okay, act to act, so we have a verb to start with. Okay, and then we have some adjectives and nouns. It's a mixture. Mezcla de verbos y sustantivos y adjectivos. Okay, so we're going to learn all these. Learn words like yes and no. Okay, and then we're going to go to the first lesson, which is expresiones idiomáticas. Okay, and we say in English we can call these idiomatic expressions, or we can use a coverall expression. We say phrasal verbs, like this. Phrasal verbs. Okay, so I'm gonna say idiomatic expression, okay, because you'll understand it. An idiomatic expression is a phrase or sentence whose significance or whose meaning cannot be understood by analyzing the words that compose it. Okay, so that means if you have two words, often a verb and a preposition, together they don't appear to make much sense. For example, let's look at a Spanish idiomatic expression, da la cara. Da la cara, okay? Now, I'm English, and if I look up this word, if I look for this word in the dictionary, if I look for dar, it says give. And I look for cara, it says face. Face. Okay, so I think give the face. Give the face. Bueno, this doesn't make sense. No me entiendo. Okay, so I have to learn the idiomatic expression. And in English, dar la cara is face the consequences. Por sus acciones. Face the consequences. Now, I understand it. Well, someone who doesn't speak Spanish, like me, will be very confused if I look for it in the dictionary, okay? But I have to learn what it means. Face the consequences. Okay? Now let's look at some of these idiomatic expressions. Okay? Here you have some things that, you know, in English don't seem to make sense. I have a cold. Tengo catarro. Pero las palabras dicen, yo tengo un frío. It doesn't make sense. I have a cold. Okay? Now we understand. A cold is catarro. Tengo catarro. Entonces I understand. Entiendo. Okay? So these are some idiomatic expressions frequently used in English. Have on. Have a good time. Have fun. Okay? Now these are slightly different, okay? But act like, add up, ask out, blow up, etc. Okay? Now you have to learn these individually. This is very important with phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions. Necesitas aprender todos individuales. You have to learn them all individually, okay? So, they're difficult. But when you know them, it makes speaking English very easy, very authentic. So let's look at the first exercise. Exercise 10.2. Okay, we're going to complete the following sentences with idiomatic expressions. Now, what does this mean? El ordenador se está averiando. What would we say in English? The computer is averiando. Let's look up averiando. We have it here. Averiarse, break down, okay? Break down. Now let's look at the tense. Está averiando. Okay, now we learnt in the last lesson, in lesson 9, that this is the continuous tense, the present continuous. So está averiando is the computer is breaking down, like this, is breaking down. The computer is breaking down. Let's look at the next one. Ellos intentaron explotar la casa. They tried to explotar. Well, we can look up here. Explotar. Blow up. Blow up. Okay? So they tried to blow up the house. They tried to blow up the house. Like that. Okay, my mother trajo a la conversación. My mother brought up our vacation to the sea. In conversation, suddenly my mother said, okay, what about our vacation to the sea? My mother brought up our vacation to the sea. Okay? Now this one you know. Ana tiene gripe. Anna has a cold, or Anna has flu. Okay, this one. Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time? Did you have a good time at the party? Okay. Next week, I have 4 days off, or 4 free days, or 4 days off. 4 days off. And the next one, yo pasé un rato divertido. I had a good time in my grandmother's house. Or, this is present simple. I have a good time. I have a good time in my grandmother's house. Okay? Now, the secretary tiene puesto un vestido rojo. The secretary has a red dress on. Okay? To have on. Tener puesto. The secretary has a red dress on. Okay, Antonio's car has a rueda pinchada, a flat tire. And la fiesta se canceló. The party was called off. The party was called off. I will go to the doctor because I have a cold. Tengo gripe. I have a cold. Suman. Add up. Add up. 5 and 8 adds up to 13. Okay, now you can do these yourself. Okay? And I'm going to show you a little bit more about phrasal verbs, okay? Phrasal verbs. Now, we can go to the English Club and we can look up phrasal verbs here. Phrasal verbs and other multi-word verbs. Okay? You can look at all this and read all this. Single word verb is look. Okay? Look, mira. Okay? We can change it. We can have multi-word verbs. Look after. Look up. Look forward to. These are all different kinds of phrasal verbs. Okay, it says, it has the explanation here. Phrasal verbs are a group of multi-word verbs made from a verb plus another word or words. Many people refer to all multi-word verbs as phrasal verbs. On these pages, we make a distinction between 3 types of multi-word verbs: prepositional verbs, phrasal verbs, and phrasal prepositional verbs. On this page, we look at phrasal verbs proper. Phrasal verbs are made up of a verb and an adverb. Okay? So phrasal verbs. Get up. What does it mean? Levantarse. Get up, right? Get up from bed. Get up. Okay? Get up from your bed. Okay? Break down. No funcionar. Okay? Put off. Turn down. Okay, so you have to look at as many phrasal verbs and learn as many phrasal verbs as you can. Okay? I mean, the ones in Palabras are excellent, but there are many, many more. Many, many more. And they need to be learnt individually. Individually. Okay. Let's go back to the exercise. And the next thing we're going to look at is sentences with 2 verbs. Now, there are 2 different ways of using 2 verbs. One is followed by the infinitive. Yo quiero trabajar. I want to work. Okay? I want to work. The other is followed by the gerund. Okay? Let's have another quick look at the exercise. Here we have infinitive or ing. Okay, when we have two verbs together, sometimes we need to decide whether to use a verb in its ing form, as in doing or singing, or infinitive form, to do, to sing. Okay, for example, only one of the following sentences is correct. I dislike working late. I dislike to work late. Okay, now it's I dislike working. Okay, but today we're going to concentrate on the infinitive, when to use the infinitive. And the infinitive form is used after certain verbs. Now, for example, I forgot to close the window. Mary needs to leave early. Okay, we can't afford to take a long holiday. And we also see here the infinitive form is always used after adjectives. I was happy to help. I was happy to help them. Okay? Let's go back to Mil Palabras and look at the exercises. So one verb following the other. The first one takes the conjugation. So here we have want, querer, okay? She wants, your sister wants to paint the house. The second verb is the infinitive. The first verb has the conjugation. She wants. Your sister, she. Your sister wants to paint the house. Okay, this is very easy, okay? They wanted, pasado, they wanted to play with my brother. They wanted to play with my brother. Okay, here's a question. ¿Quieres cerrar la puerta? Do you want to close the door? Do you want to close the door? So here you have the conjugation. Do you want? They wanted. Your sister wants. En el segundo verbo es siempre, bueno, en este caso, después de, after these verbs, okay, to paint, to play, to close. So, what's this? This is negative. Ella no quiere practicar la lección. She doesn't. Let's make the contraction. So in the contraction we say she does not want. But with the contraction we say she doesn't. She doesn't want to practice the lesson. Okay? What's this one? Your mother quiso. This is pasado. Your mother wanted to cook. Your mother wanted to cook. Okay? Maria wants to dance. Maria wants to dance. Let's look at some more. You can do some of these exercises. Huh? What's this one? Me gusta vivir en Mexico. I like to live in Mexico. Okay. My grandmother wants to clean the house. Susanna wants to invite their relatives. Okay? They want to listen. They want to listen to grandfather. My son wants to throw the ball in the field. What's this last one? Tú me tienes que escuchar. You have to listen to me. You have to listen to me. Okay, it's very easy. The first verb, conjugation, a segundo verb, the second verb, in the infinitive. Okay, so we're going to do some translations. Translate the following sentences to Spanish. Their cook has to prepare the food. Mira, su cocinero o cocinera tiene que preparar la comida. Okay? My neighbor had to call off his party. Mi vecino tuve que cancelar su fiesta. You have to put ice in my glass. Tú tienes que poner hielo en mi vaso. Look at this one. This one is in the past. You can do all these. Let's look at another one. La televisión ¿Mm? De mi abuela se rompió ayer. My grandmother's TV broke down yesterday. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at a phrasal verb, broke down. Hmm? In pasado, because the pasado of break is broke. It's a verbo irregular. Okay? Please add up those numbers. Please add up those numbers. Por favor. Sumas esos números. Does Mr. Ramirez have to sing with us? Señor Ramírez tiene que cantar con nosotros. And Juan acted like an animal in Ramon's house. To act like. Whew, you have to look that up, okay? Here we have one. That big ship is in the sea. Esa barca grande is in el mar. Okay, here's a question. Is it going to rain tomorrow? Va a llover mañana. Okay, and you can practice all these. It's an easy lesson. You have to study your phrasal verbs, and you have to study your sentences with two verbs, one after the other. Okay? Her son was born yesterday. Su hijo nació ayer. Okay, and you work hard on this. Spend a long time studying phrasal verbs, idiomatic expresiones. Very important, okay? It will take you a long time to learn a lot of them. You have to look them up. You have to learn what they mean individually, okay? Learn as many as you can. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you for lesson 11. Goodbye.